Raphael Varane has retired from his international duty with France. Frank, I was wondering what you made of this. Were you surprised to see it, or did you expect it?
No, I'm very surprised because Didier Deschamps talked about the captaincy now because Lloris gave up also his career internationally. So I really thought that Raphael Varane would step up and become the new captain. It would be supposedly between him and Kylian Mbappe. But he's a very experienced player. He's only 29. I think he could have played like 2-3 more years at least, and I would have served the national team very well. It's sad, but I think he knows his body better than anybody else. He feels that he gets injured more and more. It's been his problem, his issues for the past years. So I think he wants to be really focused on what he has to do with his club, and that's honorable from him, but sad for the national team.
What do you make of it? 29 years old, still obviously lots of trophies that this front side could win.
It's quite young, isn't it, for a retirement? It used to be years ago that international football retired you. But now it seems to be the sort of done thing that, you know, you just make a decision with the travel and your club football. You saw him at the end of the World Cup, and the final he was out on his feet, really, in extra time. He had nothing left to give right at the end. I think when they took him off, he was done. But yeah, that's his choice. He's certainly good enough to still play. Man United will be happy.
Do you understand it, Stevie?
Absolutely, yeah. Particularly somebody who, just from nowhere, seems to pick up injuries. You know, he's not one of those guys that picks up injuries and he's out for 5 months. He just seems to pick things up, and he's missing for 3 weeks, and then he's back for 4 weeks, and then he's out for another week. And when you get older, in most cases, you get injured more frequently. And so somebody who's had problems with injuries from nowhere, considering what he's already done, I think it's a smart move from Varane. I think it is. You know, he's already got a World Cup winner's medal, right? I mean, does he really need another one? If you got one, do you need two?
Did you retire from international football?
I did, yes.
I did as well. I retired, but it was my old boy, my dad, who went, give it up.
It's time.
After one of the games, he went, it's time to hang them up. Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah. So there was no answer to that. I couldn't say, oh, well, your dad's telling you.
Well, when your dad's telling you, yeah, that tells you something.
Well, I was a little bit older than him.
Well, Frank, you weren't on yesterday's show. Julien Laurens was asked about his top 5 French centre-backs, and he picked Raphael Varane as his number 1. You actually weren't even in that top 5, but don't worry, we defended you.
Now, omitted in this list is none other than no ego himself, Frank Leboeuf.
Yeah.
I mean,
number 1 in our hearts.
yes, that is a crime in
Number
this
1
show.
in our hearts, Frank.
It is a crime in this show that Frank Leboeuf is not included in the list. I am sure that you'll be getting a message soon.
Can't believe you, Jules. I cannot believe you, Jules. Absolutely no need for that. What?
None.
Unnecessary.
What do you think of that, Frank?
You know what? I like the fact that Ali and Xhaka try to help me out. But I just want to know if Julian was drunk when he made that list, because really, with all the names that I know, I would never have put me in that list because I'm too humble for pretending that I deserve to be in that list. But I can name some other players. Varane and Blanc would have never been in that list because Desailly would be number 1. Marius Trésor would be number 2, but you have to put Basile Boli, you have to put Christian Lopez, you have to put Henri Michel, you of course have to put Maxime Bossis. So I think you say all-time best centre-back. I think Julien was born too late to know about the history of centre-back, in France. But definitely, Raphael Varane shouldn't belong to that list. And maybe Laurent Blanc shouldn't belong to that list. And definitely, I shouldn't belong to that list because you have some fantastic centre-backs in France. In the time of Stevie was playing, with Henri Michel, Christian Lopez, Maxime Bossis, Marius Trésor, and then just after Basile Boli, fantastic players alongside Marcel Desailly would definitely deserve to be in that list. But thank you guys for helping me out, but I don't deserve to be in that list.
Basile Boli, he could put it around old Basile.
He was a beast, wasn't
He was an absolute...
There was a big feeling that Desailly should have been number 1 on that list yesterday.
Yes, I think so.
So, Frank, let us put it
Certainly
to you
not
then.
Varane.
Would Jules make your top 5 pundits on ESPN FC?
Oh, my top 5 pundits.
No.
Craig Burley, number 1.
Would Jules make it?
Craig Burley,
Jules
number
in there?
1.
It's not very nice on Stevie,
Excuse
but
me?
anyway.
Is Jules?
What was your question?
I thought Jules was a
So
journalist.
Craig Burley, number 1.
Jules is a journal.
Jules is a journal.
He's still a pundit on it, though, right? On the show.
Analyst.
Okay, all analysts included,
No,
ex-players and
Julian is
journalists.
not a pundit. Julian is not.
All right,
No,
every
Julian is
single
not a pundit.
person that appears and talks about football on this show, does Julian make your top 5 list?
No, not now.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. He was not a football player, so he shouldn't talk about football. No, but I think the two guys that you
Top 3
have with
journalists on our show.
UK today, and I will
Oh, we've
add
got 3
Ali
journalists.
and Shaka, they're perfect. They're very perfect as pundits.
Top 3 journalists on our show. Ralph Honigstein. All right, he's not on it anymore.
He's not on it anymore.
Journals.
All
Tell
right.
you what, I love Marcelo Journal. Oh, I love him.
So serious.
Very important to the show. Give us a lot of insight.
Yeah, when I must have missed that.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.